Most pedig akkor következzen az első nemzetközi előadónk a nemzetközi blokkból, és hogy igazság szerint ugye célunk az, hogy ezzel a dialógusunkat kiszélesítsük. Nem utolsó sorban Jannie Jeppesent hívtuk el, az Európai Edtech Szövetségnek az elnökasszonyát, ami European Edtech Alliance-ként ugye a hozzánk hasonló szervezeteket fogja össze Európa szerte. Jannival amúgy mostan lassan már egy éve dolgozunk együtt, elnökségi tagként igyekszem a koalíciót képviselni a European Edtech Alliance-ben is. Igazság szerint ez a szervezet, ez ilyetén formán a hálózatok összefogásával közel 3000 digitális oktatással foglalkozó céget, alapítmányt és intézményt fog össze. Ami szerintem még fontos lehet, hogy a számtalan ponton ugye a koalíciós tagjaink információkat kaphatnak így a nemzetközi véráramban is előforduló fontosabb témákról, képzésekről, vannak online megjelenési lehetőségeink, ahol szakmai dialógusokat folytatunk, nemzetközi hírekről, más országokban is fellelhető kiállításokról, úgyhogy igyekszünk tartani a lépést, és akár elnökségként irányítani ezt az európai dialógust. Úgyhogy ezen a ponton szeretném Jannie Jeppensent a színpadra szólítani. Jannie? Here you are. The floor is yours.
Thank you. And I didn't understand a word you said, so I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about. So I will just talk about it.
Yes,
Sorry,
I spoke fondly about you and the European Edtech Alliance, as always.
Understood. And maybe I will say a bit of the same things as you have did. And it's funny with the picture that you saw. It's me in my winter clothes, and in Sweden we have winter clothes almost all time of the year. But now this is summer, Jannie, because I come to warm and hot Budapest. And thank you for inviting me. I'm supposed to talk about, I think the title of my talk is EdTech from and for Europe, but I want to give a deep dive into why is it important that we have European EdTech? Because we know that the large EdTech companies mainly come from other continents, but why is it important that we stimulate the European EdTech that is built on the values of Europe in each local country in Europe? So I'm going to give a little talk about that, but at the same time I think I need to want to present, yes it works, the European Edtech Alliance. The European Edtech Alliance is an umbrella organization for 25 local national EdTech organizations, like the one in EdTech Hungary, for example, and Swedish Edtech industry in Austria, we will hear later. And we represent more than 2,600 EdTech companies, small startups, middle-sized, I think it's 10 employees for each company in Europe, so it's small companies, and that's important to understand. But together we're quite large and big. So that's the European EdTech Alliance, and the board is Flora, is one of the board, making a huge impact on a European level from Hungary, and we're very thankful for that. We come from Italy, Germany, Hungary, Sweden, and Finland. So we try to operate on a pan-European level, and we mainly talk to policymakers on the European level, which is the European Commission, the Council of Europe, but also global organizations like UNESCO. And we also want to make an impact on as local as we can get in order to support the innovation and the collaboration between organizations, just like the coalition that you just described. We need research, we need EdTech companies, we need governments, and we need teachers and the professionals in order to develop the EdTech that we want to see in our classrooms. So that cooperation is crucial for having high quality EdTech solutions. So that is what we try to stimulate in different projects from the European side. And why do we need EdTech? We can just ban mobile phones and ban screens in schools, and we see it all over Europe. I know that you just had a mobile phone ban here. Mobile phones is not EdTech, just saying. TikTok is not EdTech. just saying. EdTech can be a math app that helps you understand difficult threshold learnings that you cannot maybe, that make it easier for you to learn. And if we could produce EdTech that would be as addictive as TikTok, nobody would be more happy than the teachers and the parents of that. But we cannot, and we shouldn't. We should develop EdTech that really meets the needs of each classroom and each child or learner, because we have adult learners too. So we need EdTech in the way that, why we need local EdTech is because if we look at Europe as a continent, it's a huge wealth of cultures, languages, countries, curriculums. Only in Belgium, they have 3 curriculums. One in French, one in Flemish, one in German. That's only one of the countries in Europe. And we need EdTech that locally adapts to each local curricula, to each local language, and also culture and the education that the teachers have in the different countries, because that looks different too. So EdTech is a very local technology in that sense when it's used in classrooms. And that's why we need to have EdTech companies that is close to the classrooms and the needs of the teachers in order to be able to develop the technology that supports right there and then. And maybe that's an explanation why we have so many small companies in Europe. But to take care of the small companies, I think we need to decide, do we want European or local Hungarian EdTech? We need to take care of them because it's a really difficult business to operate. I think maybe you talked about it, the complexity of research, of education. Walking into a classroom, I'm an ex-teacher and ex-principal. The classroom is the most complex environment you can enter. And the EdTech companies needs to understand the classroom in order to meet the needs. So that's why it's so important that we work closely together. And also on a more systematic level, we also, as a continent, as Europe, we are so many small countries, but together we form a continent. And in EU, we have 27 member companies. But the thing is that we are lagging behind in our competitiveness. You can see the top 10 here, and US, I think, is top 12. I think Hungary is 54 or something. And you can see that in top 10, we have many European countries on a competitive level. But the thing is that those countries are so small, so the impact, if you look at the colors of Europe, you see that the US is much more competitive, and that's more impactful because the US economy is big, and Denmark is 5 million inhabitants. So the impact of the entire Europe. And what we need, we have the challenges like we have all over the world with the infrastructure, the technology race, you mentioned AI. This is going to speed up things. And we also have a really big shift in demography. We will get more older people and less younger, but we need to make our public services more digital in order to meet the needs of our populations. We also have the green transition, to have green skills in order to build green industries. Green skills is digital skills. And we have a lack of investments in high technology centers in Europe if you compare it, or companies, if you compare it to the US, for example, or China for that matter. And we also have the geopolitical uncertainty, which means that digital resilience and resilient education systems is super important. And we learned that during COVID. And the bloodstream, in order to succeed with all these challenges and increase the competitiveness of Europe as a country and the prosperity of each country, because this is finally about the prosperity of each country in order to produce the welfare systems we need and stuff like that. The key, or the blood the blood veins of all that is digital skills. The technology race is moving so fast. We have digital environments all around us, even as small children. You have your mobile phones at home. How many of you have children? How many of them have a mobile phone? So, and most of them will speak to an AI on my AI on Snapchat. So they need to understand the risks of AI, and also and we need to start early. In Europe, they have set goals for that 80% of all citizens in Europe should have basic digital skills in order to be a part of your society, democracy, but also being attracted to the work market. 80%. These are the target, I think, for last year, and we can see that Netherlands and Finland from the European countries is already there. That's very good for their future competitiveness. But we can see that Hungary, you're lagging behind a little bit, but we are different maturities. Sweden is not where we should be compared to the developments of our digital maturity. So digital skills is lagging behind. The European Commission set out recommendations that all 27 member states signed November 2023. Where all governments agreed to set up digital national strategies for education in each country, make sure they invest in teacher professional development on digital competence, and also develop and start early with. So that will be the winners in this race, I think, who will build their competencies and competitiveness is the governments who actively build these resilient education systems and increase these digital skills and have a plan. You can ban mobile phones, that's okay, but if you don't have a plan for building digital skills from an early age, you will be a loser. That is what I'm saying. So, but that doesn't even connect. But you need to have a plan and a strategy. Otherwise, you will not be able to meet the needs of the future and of your future country. So, and if the governments also, like we see here in Hungary, I'm very happy to see that we have the state secretary here and you have the coalition and you're working together with research and the university, because that is the success factor in order to succeed with EdTech, because you can put lousy EdTech in schools, don't educate the teachers, and don't give them the support they need, and then you will not have what we are looking for. So you need to have a strategy in place, and you need to have a plan. So that is what we are working on. And on the European level, the discussions we have with the Council of Europe and the working groups we have with the European Commission and stuff like, they understand that on a macro level. But the digital skills goals and the strategies that every country have signed, that is a local matter. It's a soft law, so the European Commission cannot force countries to do so. You have to do it by your own will. So the governments who invest and do these things will be succeeding, I think. So that's why our vision at the European EdTech Alliance is that if we have an innovative and impactful, impact is important, because we need it to develop tools for learning where we increase learning, and when we develop the digital skills that everyone needs and has the right to, that is a success factor. Otherwise, we can leave it over to the American companies and they can just enter our classrooms and then let's see what happens. But I think we need the locally produced EdTech. And it's difficult to be an EdTech entrepreneur, so it's going to be very interesting to see all the companies at the exhibition outside and take care of them. They're small, they struggle, it's difficult, but they really do it with their heart, I'm sure. So this was the main messages from the European EdTech Alliance, and thank you, Flora, again, and congratulations for setting this up for the second year. It's fantastic to see all the stakeholders invited, because you need all the stakeholders at the table in order to succeed. So good, congratulations for making this happen. We are going to hear Edtech Austria, which is one of our local, and later this afternoon we will also listen to Edtech Bulgaria, who's also invited. So then we will get down to the local businesses of the organizations of the European Edtech Alliance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jannie. Actually, this is the beauty of Europe, and what we do here in the coalition is that we are always investing in dialogues, and this is not else in the other countries that we can see. And I think that this was also the reason behind the European Edtech Alliance to get together, because every coalition and every country, based on this dialogue, wanted to share ideas, thoughts, experiences, challenges, because we have common challenges as we face the common problems. And this is the dialogue that we manage also on the European level.
I mean, we're all in the same boat together, and we are really, really small countries. So we need to help each other out, and we need to find ways to collaborate in a much more. So,
thank you.